Think it's too late to plant? Think again. Right now. While your neighbors are watching their gardens fade and giving up on the season, you could be setting yourself up for the most spectacular fall display they've ever seen. And here's the secret they don't know. These aren't just pretty plants that'll bloom once and disappear. These are perennials that will come back stronger, bigger, and more beautiful every single year. Most gardeners make this huge mistake. They plant everything in spring, enjoy a few months of color, and by August they're already mentally packing in for the season. But what if I told you that late July and August are actually prime time for planting some of the most stunning perennials you've ever seen? Plants that laugh at heat, thrive in challenging conditions, and reward you with breathtaking fall blooms when everything else is saying goodbye. I'm about to share 12 perennials that will completely transform how you think about late-season gardening. These aren't your typical spring flowers. These are the rebels, the show-offs, the plants that come alive when others are checking out. And the best part? Plant them now, and they'll reward you with color through October, November, and some even into December. Welcome back to Golden Years Gardening, where we don't just garden, we garden smart. I'm here to prove that late summer isn't the end of your gardening season. It's your second chance at garden magic. Plant number 1, Blackeyed Susan, your golden garden hero. Starting at number 1, we have Blackeyed Susan. And let me tell you why this plant deserves the top spot on every late summer gardener's list. When I first planted these beauties 5 years ago, I had no idea I was about to witness one of nature's most reliable performers. Picture this: golden sunshine captured in flower form, blooming relentlessly from the moment you plant them to the first hard frost. These aren't delicate divas that need coddling. They're garden warriors that actually get stronger in the heat. While your neighbors' impatiens are wilting in their containers, your Blackeyed Susans will be standing tall, pumping out flower after flower like they're powered by pure summer energy. The daisy-like blooms with their dark chocolate centers create this stunning contrast that stops people in their tracks. I've had visitors actually ask me what kind of artificial flowers I'm using, because they can't believe anything looks that perfect in late summer heat. And here's what really gets me excited. They're drought-tolerant once established. That means less work for you and more time to enjoy that gorgeous golden display. But here's the best part. When fall arrives and everything else is fading, these champions just keep going. They'll bloom right through September, October, and often into November. It's like having your own personal celebration every time you step outside. Plant number 2, Russian Sage, the purple cloud of dreams. At number 2, we have Russian Sage, and this plant is pure poetry in motion. The first time I saw this growing in a friend's garden, I thought I was looking at a purple cloud that had somehow taken root in her yard. The way it moves in the breeze is absolutely hypnotic, like having dancers performing in your garden all day long. Those tall, elegant spires of lavender blue flowers create this incredible vertical drama that transforms any space from ordinary to extraordinary. And when I say they thrive in heat, I mean they absolutely love it. The hotter it gets, the more fragrant they become. Just brushing against the silvery foliage releases this wonderful herbal scent that instantly transports you to the Mediterranean. What makes Russian Sage perfect for late summer planting is its incredible resilience. This plant laughs at drought, shrugs off poor soil, and actually performs better with a little neglect. It's like it was designed for busy gardeners who want maximum impact with minimum fuss. And speaking of impact, these plants can reach 3 to 4 feet tall, creating the stunning backdrop for shorter plants while attracting clouds of butterflies and bees. I planted mine in August 3 years ago, and by October it looked like it had been established for years. The secret is that Russian Sage actually prefers to be planted when it's warm. It gives the roots time to establish before winter while still producing that spectacular fall display. Plant number 3, Purple Coneflower, the Pollinator Paradise. Number 3 is Purple Coneflower, and if you want to create a pollinator paradise in your garden, this is your golden ticket. These plants are like hosting the ultimate garden party. Butterflies, bees, goldfinches, and hummingbirds all show up for the celebration. Now, here's what's exciting about modern coneflowers. They're not just purple anymore. You got varieties in coral, orange, yellow, white, and even double-flowered forms that look like fluffy pom-poms. But that classic purple with the prominent bronze cone, that's still the queen of the garden in my book. What makes these perfect for late summer planting is their incredible heat tolerance. While other flowers are struggling in August intensity, coneflowers are just hitting their stride. They actually bloom better in heat, producing more flowers and stronger stems. And here's a bonus that'll make you smile. The seed heads that form after blooming are architectural beauties that provide food for birds all winter long. I remember the first time I planted coneflowers in late July. My neighbor thought I was crazy. "Who plants flowers in the heat?" she asked. By September, when her garden was looking tired and brown, mine was buzzing with activity and color. She's been asking for divisions ever since. The best part about coneflowers is they're basically indestructible once established. Drought? They handle it. Poor soil? No problem. Neglect? They thrive on it. It's like having the most forgiving friend in your garden. Always there, always reliable, always beautiful. Plant number 4, Threadleaf Coropsis, the nonstop blooming machine. At number 4, we have Threadleaf Coropsis, and this little powerhouse will change your mind about what's possible with late season planting. When I tell people this plant blooms nonstop from planting through hard frost, they look at me like I'm exaggerating. But I'm not. This is nature's own perpetual motion machine. The flowers are these perfect golden stars, about the size of a quarter, covering an entire plant so densely you can barely see the delicate, thread-like foliage underneath. It's like someone scattered pure sunshine across your garden. And the beauty of the fine-textured leaves is they create this soft, cottony effect that contrasts beautifully with bolder plants. But here's what really gets me excited about Coreopsis. It's practically maintenance-free. While other plants are demanding deadheading, special fertilizers, and constant attention, Coreopsis just keeps producing flowers automatically. The spent blooms fall off cleanly, making room for new ones without any help from you. I planted my first Threadleaf Coreopsis on August 15th, thinking I might get a few weeks of bloom before frost. Not only did it bloom continuously until December, but it came back the following spring twice the size and even more floriferous. That's when I realized I discovered something special. A plant that actually rewards late-season planting with extended bloom time. The drought tolerance is phenomenal too. I've forgotten to water mine for weeks during hot spells, and they just keep blooming like nothing happened. It's the perfect plant for anyone who wants big impact with minimal effort. Plant number 5, fall-blooming asters. When everyone else says goodbye, asters say hello. At number 5, we have fall-blooming asters. And these plants are about to completely change how you think about autumn gardening. When I planted my first asters in late August 4 years ago, I thought I was just adding a little late-season color. What I got instead was a garden transformation that left my neighbors speechless. Picture walking outside in early October when every other garden on the block looks tired and brown, and your space is absolutely exploding with clouds of tiny purple, pink, or white flowers. That's the magic of fall asters. These native wildflowers don't just bloom in fall. They put on the most spectacular show of the entire year when the weather starts to cool. The flowers are small individually, but they appear in such massive clusters that they create these incredible purple or white clouds floating above the foliage. And here's what really gets me excited. They're absolutely essential for migrating butterflies. I've counted over 20 monarch butterflies on a single aster plant during peak migration. It's like hosting a butterfly convention in your own backyard. But here's the secret most gardeners don't know. Asters actually prefer to be planted in late summer. Spring-planted asters often get tall and floppy, but those planted in August develop stronger, more compact growth that's perfectly timed for their fall spectacular. The cooler fall temperatures intensify their flower colors, creating displays that photos simply can't capture. What I love most about asters is their incredible reliability. Once you plant them, they mark the seasons for you. Every September, like clockwork, the buds start forming. By October, you got this incredible display that lasts for weeks, sometimes into November if we don't get a hard frost. Plant number 6, Autumn Joy Sedum, the chameleon of the garden world. Number 6 is Autumn Joy Sedum, and this plant is pure garden magic. If you've never grown sedums before, you're about to discover why they're called the chameleons of the plant world. This single plant gives you 3 completely different looks throughout the season, and each one is more beautiful than the last. It starts as these gorgeous jade green rosettes in spring and summer. Thick, succulent leaves that look almost architectural in their perfection. Then, in late summer, something incredible happens. Flat-top flower clusters appear, starting as pale green buttons that gradually turn pink, then rose, then deep burgundy red as fall progresses. It's like watching a slow-motion fireworks display right in your garden. I remember the first time I watched this transformation happen. I kept thinking something was wrong with the plant because it kept changing colors. Then I realized I was witnessing one of nature's most incredible color shows. By late October, those flower heads turn this rich, bronze burgundy that glows like jewels in the fall sunlight. But here's what makes autumn joy perfect for late summer planting. It's practically indestructible. Drought? It laughs at drought. Poor soil? It prefers it. Neglect? It thrives on neglect. These are succulent plants, which means they store water in their thick, fleshy leaves. It's like nature's own irrigation system built right into the plant. And the bees! Oh my goodness, the bees! When autumn joy blooms in September and October, it becomes this incredible pollinator magnet. At a time when most flowers are finished for the season, your sedums will be buzzing with activity. I've counted dozens of different bee species on a single plant, all frantically gathering nectar before winter arrives. The best part? These flower heads look stunning even after they've finished blooming. They dry to this beautiful rust color that provides architectural interest all winter long, and they're perfect for dried flower arrangements. Plant number 7, Japanese anemone, delicate as tissue paper, tough as nails. At number 7, we have Japanese anemone, and this plant is about to become your new obsession. When people see these delicate, papery flowers dancing in the breeze, they assume they're looking at something fragile and temperamental. But Japanese anemones are proof that appearances can be deceiving. These beauties are tough as nails. The flowers are absolutely ethereal. Single or double blooms in white or pink that seem to float above the dark green foliage like butterflies. Each petal looks like it was cut from the finest tissue paper, so delicate you'd think a strong breeze would destroy them. But these plants laugh at wind, rain, and even early frost. They're the elegant survivors of the perennial world. What makes Japanese anemones perfect for late summer planting is their blooming schedule. While most perennials are finishing up their show, anemones are just getting started. They begin blooming in late August and continue through October, sometimes even into November. It's like having a second spring in your garden when everything else is preparing for winter. I planted my first Japanese anemones in a partially shaded spot where nothing else seemed happy. I was skeptical. How could something so delicate-looking thrive where other plants struggled? But by the second year, I had a gorgeous colony of plants producing hundreds of flowers from late summer through fall. They'd found their perfect home and were rewarding me with incredible displays. Here's what really impressed me about these plants. They actually prefer some shade, making them perfect for those tricky spots where you struggle to find good blooming plants. North-facing patios, areas under trees, spots that get morning sun but afternoon shade. Anemones love these locations and will bloom beautifully where sun-loving plants would struggle. The way they move in the breeze is absolutely mesmerizing. On a gentle fall afternoon, watching Japanese anemones dance in the garden is like meditation. Each flower nods and sways independently, creating this incredible sense of movement and life when other plants are becoming dormant. Plant number 8, blue mist shrub Caryopteris, electric blue when everything else is warm-toned. At number 8, we have blue mist shrub, also called Caryopteris, and this plant is going to add a color to your fall garden that you probably never thought possible. When most fall flowers are showing off in reds, oranges, and yellows, Caryopteris brings electric blue to the party. And let me tell you, it's absolutely show-stopping. The first time I saw this plant in bloom, I actually stopped my car and knocked on a stranger's door to ask what it was. The owner laughed and told me she gets that reaction all the time. These aren't just blue flowers. They're electric, almost neon blue clusters that seem to glow against the silvery green foliage. It's like someone scattered pieces of the summer sky throughout your garden. But here's what makes Caryopteris perfect for containers and late-season planting. It stays compact and blooms on new wood. That means you can plant it in August, and it will still produce a full display of flowers in September and October. Unlike shrubs that need a full year to establish before blooming well, Blue Mist Shrub rewards you with flowers in its first season. The butterflies go absolutely crazy for this plant. I've never seen anything attract butterflies like Caryopteris in full bloom. On a warm September afternoon, my Blue Mist Shrub looks like it's decorated with living jewelry. Monarchs, swallowtails, skippers, and dozens of smaller butterflies all competing for space on those electric blue flower clusters. And the fragrance. When you brush against the foliage, it releases this wonderful herbal scent that's somewhere between mint and lavender. It's aromatherapy right in your garden. I've actually planted mine near seating areas just so I can enjoy that wonderful fragrance on cool fall evenings. What really impressed me about this plant is its heat tolerance and drought resistance once established. While other plants are struggling in late summer heat, Caryopteris just keeps pumping out those incredible blue flowers. It's like it was designed specifically for challenging growing conditions. Plant number 9, Gura, whirling butterflies. Like having a cloud of butterflies dancing in your garden. At number 9, we have Gura, commonly called whirling butterflies, and this plant is pure magic in motion. The first time I saw this growing in a friend's garden, I stood there mesmerized for 10 minutes just watching it dance. The delicate stems sway with the slightest breeze, and those tiny white or pink flowers flutter like dozens of butterflies at Neverland. What makes Gura absolutely perfect for late summer planting is its incredible heat tolerance and its blooming schedule. This plant actually gets better as the weather gets hotter. While other flowers are wilting in August intensity, Gura is producing more flowers, stronger stems, and that incredible airy texture that adds movement to every garden composition. The individual flowers are small, about the size of your thumbnail, but they appear in such abundance that they create this incredible cloud-like effect. Each bloom has 4 petals and long, delicate stamens that flutter in the breeze. It's like nature's own wind chimes, but instead of sound, you get this constant, hypnotic movement that brings your entire garden to life. I planted my first whirling butterflies on August 20th 3 years ago, thinking I might get a month of bloom before frost. What I got was 3 solid months of non-stop flowering, from planting day right through November. Even after the first light frosts, when other plants were blackened and finished, my Gura kept producing new flowers like nothing had happened. Here's what really impressed me about this plant. It's practically indestructible once established. Drought? It laughs at drought. Poor soil? It prefers it. Heat waves? It thrives in them. Wind storms? The flexible stems just dance harder. It's like having the most resilient performer in your garden, always on stage, always putting on a show. And the way it combines with other plants is absolutely magical. I use it as a living veil in front of boulder flowers, and it creates this incredible layered effect. The solid colors of coneflowers or asters show through the dancing stems of Gura, creating depth and movement that makes your entire garden look professionally designed. Plant number 10, blanket flower Galardia. Sunset colors that warm up cool fall days. Number 10 is blanket flower, also called Galardia, and this plant brings the warmth of a summer sunset to your fall garden. When I tell people that some of my blanket flowers are still blooming in December, they look at me like I'm making it up. But these native wildflowers are absolute champions of extended bloom, especially when planted in late summer. The flowers are absolutely stunning. Imagine a sunset captured in bloom form, deep reds bleeding into bright oranges, yellows, and sometimes burgundy, all in the same flower. Each bloom looks hand-painted, with colors so rich and warm, they seem to generate their own heat. On a cool October morning, when everything else looks subdued, blanket flowers glow like little campfires scattered throughout your garden. What makes Galardia perfect for late-season planting is its incredible toughness and its preference for cooler root conditions. When you plant them in the heat of August, they establish quickly but don't stress about blooming immediately. Instead, they build strong root systems and prepare for the spectacular fall show that's coming. I remember my first experience with blanket flowers. I planted them in what I thought was a terrible location. Hot, dry, with poor soil where nothing else would grow. I figured if they survived, great, and if not, I hadn't lost much. What happened next amazed me. Not only did they survive, they absolutely thrived. The worse the conditions got, the better they performed. Here's the secret about blanket flowers. They actually prefer to be a little stressed. Rich soil and regular water make them lazy. They produce more leaves and fewer flowers. But plant them in challenging conditions, and they respond by blooming their hearts out. It's like they're trying to produce as many seeds as possible to ensure survival, and that means more flowers for you. The drought tolerance is legendary. I've gone 6 weeks without watering mine during summer heat waves, and they just kept blooming. When other plants were dropping leaves and going dormant, my Galardia looked like nothing had happened. It's the perfect plant for busy gardeners or anyone who travels frequently. Plant number 11, Toad Lily, the orchid of the shade garden. At number 11, we have Toad Lily, and this plant is going to completely change your mind about what's possible in shaded fall gardens. When people see these exotic, spotted flowers blooming in September and October, they can't believe they're looking at something hardy enough to survive winter outdoors. The flowers are absolutely extraordinary. They look like tiny orchids with intricate purple and white spotting patterns. Each bloom is a work of art, with 6 petals covered in the most delicate purple spots on a white background. The way the spots are arranged is different on every flower, making each bloom unique. It's like having a collection of living jewelry scattered throughout your shade garden. What makes Toad Lily perfect for late summer planting is its blooming schedule and shade tolerance. This is one of the few perennials that actually blooms better in shade and saves its spectacular flower show for fall when most shade plants are finished for the season. Plant them in August, and by October you'll have exotic blooms that look like they belong in a tropical conservatory. I planted my first Toad Lilies in a spot where nothing else seemed happy. Deep shade under mature trees where the soil stays moist but never gets direct sun. I was skeptical that anything would bloom well there, especially something with flowers this exotic looking. But Toad Lilies proved me completely wrong. The plants form these elegant, arching stems with oval leaves that look attractive all season long. Then, in early fall, something magical happens. Buds form along the stems and at the tips, and suddenly you have dozens of these incredible orchid-like flowers opening over a period of several weeks. Each stem becomes a living flower arrangement that lasts for weeks. Here's what really impressed me about Toad Lilies. They're conversation starters like nothing else in the garden. Every single person who sees them in bloom asks the same question: what is that incredible flower? The common name might not sound appealing, but don't let that fool you. These are sophisticated, elegant plants that add an exotic touch to any shade garden. Plant number 12, Ornamental Kale. Who says vegetables can't be gorgeous? Our final plant, number 12, is Ornamental Kale, and this is going to surprise you. When I first suggest Ornamental Kale to gardeners, they often wrinkle their noses and say, "But that's a vegetable." And you know what? They're absolutely right, and that's exactly what makes it so special. Ornamental Kale brings colors to fall gardens that you simply can't get from traditional flowers. We're talking deep purples, bright pinks, creamy whites, and rich greens, all in the same plant. But here's the magic. These colors intensify as the weather gets cooler. Light frosts that kill other plants actually make Ornamental Kale more beautiful. The rosettes look like enormous roses made of ruffled silk. Some varieties have smooth leaves, others are deeply ruffled and textured. The colors start subtle in warm weather, then explode into brilliant displays as temperatures drop. By late October, a container of Ornamental Kale looks like it's filled with giant, colorful flowers that laugh at frost. I started using Ornamental Kale in my fall containers 5 years ago, and it completely changed my autumn decorating game. While my neighbors were pulling out their tired summer annuals and leaving empty pots, my containers were just hitting their peak beauty. The contrast between the bold, architectural leaves and delicate flowers from other plants creates stunning combinations that last well into winter. But here's the bonus that really excites me. Ornamental Kale is completely edible. Those gorgeous purple and pink leaves make incredible additions to salads, and they're packed with nutrients. You can literally eat your decorations. I've served leaves from my containers at dinner parties, and guests are always amazed that something so beautiful can taste so good. What makes Ornamental Kale perfect for late summer planting is its preference for cooler weather. Plant it now, and by the time fall arrives, you'll have established plants ready to put on their spectacular cool weather color show. Unlike spring-planted kale that often bolts in summer heat, fall-planted ornamental kale has months of perfect growing conditions ahead. Now, before we wrap up, let me share the essential tips I've learned from years of late-season planting that will guarantee your success with these incredible perennials. Container preparation is everything. First, and this is absolutely crucial, always use high-quality potting mix, never garden soil. I learned this lesson the hard way when I lost an entire container of beautiful plants because I thought I could save money using soil from my yard. Garden soil becomes like concrete in containers, creating drainage problems that will kill even the most drought-tolerant plants. Quality potting mix drains properly while still holding enough moisture for healthy root development. Make sure every single container has drainage holes. I don't care how beautiful that pot is. Without drainage, it's a death trap for your plants. Even desert plants will rot in waterlogged soil. If you fall in love with a container without holes, either drill some or use it as a decorative outer pot with a properly drained liner inside. Watering wisdom for late-season success. Here's the watering secret that most gardeners get wrong. Water deeply but less frequently. Stick your finger into the soil. If the top inch is dry, it's time to water. When you do water, water slowly and thoroughly until you see it draining from the bottom. This encourages deep root growth that will help your plant survive winter and thrive next year. Late-season planted perennials need consistent moisture to establish good root systems before winter, but they don't need to be kept constantly wet. Think of it as helping them build a strong foundation for next year's spectacular performance. The fertilizer strategy that works. For late-season planting, skip the high-nitrogen fertilizers that encourage soft, tender growth vulnerable to frost damage. Instead, use a balanced, slow-release fertilizer or a low-nitrogen, high-phosphorus blend that encourages root development and flower production. Your plants will establish better and be more prepared for winter. So there you have it, 12 incredible perennials that prove late summer isn't the end of your gardening season. It's your second chance at garden magic. From the golden sunshine of Blackeyed Susans to the exotic orchid-like blooms of toad lilies, these plants will transform your garden into a fall spectacular that your neighbors will talk about for years. Think about it. While everyone else is giving up on their gardens and resigning themselves to brown, empty containers, you could be stepping outside to a space that's more beautiful in October than it was in July. These aren't just plants. They're your secret weapons for extending the joy of gardening well into fall and beyond. Every single plant on this list will come back stronger and more beautiful next year. That means this late summer investment pays dividends for years to come. You're not just planting flowers. You're planting future joy, future beauty, and future memories. Which of these 12 champions caught your attention? Are you ready to prove that late summer is actually prime planting time? I want to hear about your late season gardening adventures. Drop a comment below and tell me which plants you're most excited to try, or share your own experiences with fall planting. I read every single comment and love connecting with fellow gardeners who refuse to let the season end in August. If this video has inspired you to see late summer in a whole new way, smash that like button and share it with someone who thinks gardening ends when the calendar hits August. Let's spread the word that the best gardening adventures are just beginning when everyone else is packing it in. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got an entire fall gardening series coming up with container design ideas, winter prep strategies, and next season planning that will keep your garden gorgeous year-round. Until next time, keep growing, keep experimenting, and remember, in gardening, as in life, it's never too late to start something beautiful. Your future self will thank you for every plant you add to your garden today.